Guys, what's up? We're out on Lake Dalrymple today, late fall. Not catching a whole lot. Thought today would be a good day to show you guys kind of how I do my recording. As you can tell on my chest, I got my GoPro. That's just a GoPro Hero 4 Session. It does 1080p. I usually keep it at 30 frames per second, and I actually have it set to medium. I don't do the wide angle because I'm not a big fan of the distortion that it does on the side. There's a power cord here, and that power cord runs to a little battery backup that I have in my pocket here. And that'll let me record all day. And so I keep it plugged in. It's on all the time, my GoPro. The other camera that I have is, it used to be that Acaso. As you guys know, that thing kind of died on me. So I don't have an opportunity to use that anymore. So instead, what I'm using is my cell phone right now. This is the first time I'm using it. Hopefully you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's what I'm using right now. I used to have the Acaso plugged in, just kind of on my big motor with a clamp, and I would just run back whenever I caught a fish. I'd actually run back and turn it on manually, and that's what would get the shots that, like you're seeing right now. But let me know if you guys like the cell phone stuff or if you like the wider angle, because that one I did have it on a little bit of a wider angle lens, and that was so that you could see everything, the boat, the release. I felt like I got a little bit better angles out of it because I had wide angle. But so that's kind of it for the camera stuff. Not a whole lot. It's not real fancy. So let's take some old footage of mine. Let's get back. We'll sit down on my desk and we'll take a look and see how we can edit this stuff, or how I edit it, what I keep, what I don't keep. So we got a bit of footage all loaded up here. Let's just jump into it and let's try and cover it as quickly as possible. I won't get too in depth on this unless you guys want me to. Then just let me know. All right, so first things first, I have been using Power Director for a long time. It does cost money, but I would highly recommend paying the little bit of money that it is. You do not need it by any circumstance. You can use iMovie. I mean, everybody knows that John B started with that. So, you know, use whatever you can and use whatever you can afford. But if you can afford a little bit of money, use Power Director, and you'll see in a few minutes it's so easy to use this. But anyway, so here we are. We got some footage here. We got some from my GoPro, and then we got some from my Acaso camera. And what I usually do is I pick my music first and I work with the music and try and get the video to go. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're just going to do a quick little edit. And here's the cool part about this program. So first things first, you'll drag in your video here right down on the timeline, and you can see it pops in here. And then you can take your next one once that's loaded on and pop it in below it, above it, whatever you want. I usually put the Acaso above because I want to try and get the Acaso footage as much as I can, because you get to see everything versus that first person view of the GoPro, which is good, but sometimes gets tiring because everybody does the GoPro footage. So I'm just going to drag this down. We'll throw the Acaso stuff in here. So now you can see that the Acaso is really small, whereas the GoPro is really long. And what I want to try and do is I want to try and sync up the audio between whatever I have in the Acaso to the GoPro stuff. And you can just sit there and try and find where you are and line it all up with lip reading, which I've done. Sometimes if I'm using the housing on my Acaso, you have to do that because it doesn't pick up the audio. But the cool part about it is you can highlight all of these and you can sync by audio, which is one of the coolest features that I think that this program has. So we're just going to let that go. And you see it's pretty quick. Doesn't take long. And I know Premiere has it as well, but I find that, I mean, Premiere is so much money, right? So anyway, so in theory, this should have done a sync up between our voice and the GoPro. And actually I'm gonna flip these around, excuse me, just because. Alright, I'm actually gonna switch these around here, just so, because I got them in the wrong order. I'll highlight and sync by audio again. Okay, so in theory, the audio should have done a quick little sync with whatever I'm doing.
First fish of the day. It's a sunny day. No wind.
So you can see that totally did the sync between the audio and the video, and it's nice and easy. So now what I usually do is I try and get the fish in the picture as much as I possibly can, because I mean that's why you guys are here, right? You're here to see the fish. You're not here to see me blabber on and look at my ugly mug. So what I usually do is I'll just scroll through and I'll grab anytime I have that fish available. You can see me turn on the camera here, so I probably won't do that. And there you are. So, you know, I'll just come in here and do a cut there. And that's it. I mean, really, this isn't real complicated. As long as you have the proper software to do it, it's really, really simple. But let's talk a second here about syncing up with audio, because I think a lot of people have questions about how to do that. So let me just find some audio here. All right, so we have some audio in here, and what I like to do is I like to try and make that like really, really big. I want to be able to see as much of this audio track as possible, and I'll show you here why in a second. As you can see the sound, and you can tell like right when you come in here, this is where it's going to start getting big, right? You see how it just jumps in, and you can, I mean, we can show you that. Right, so it's gonna come in. Now the cool part about this program is you can come in and, where is it here? Use automatic beat detection, which is super cool. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But what you can do is come in here and just do detect. And what it'll do is it'll place markers. You can see them all along the top here. We'll hit apply. And we can see that there is a rough idea of when it's going to pick in a beat. We're just going to scroll this out just so that we can see. You can see that the beats are totally off. So let's get rid of that, and instead what you can do is come in here and do automatic beat detection. But instead of actually doing automatic beat detection, you can simply add your own. I usually do this by pressing the A button, but come in here. Alright, so I've done a few manually. You know, anytime I thought that I would put a change, you know, a scene change or just whatever. So I have, let me scroll back here. So you can see that I've placed one here all along, and including when it hits high. So what you'll do is you'll just come in and change it out, right? So like, you know, you can start this, say, like, let's grab here, and we'll just do a cut. We'll leave a gap, and we'll just move this, and we'll start this all on that beat. So there you go. So now when that beat kicks in, it's going to play our video. And so you can change your scene, you can change your camera angle, you can change whatever, and that's kind of a quick, nice and easy way to do it. And that's it. I don't have a whole lot. I don't want to get too far in depth here. If you guys want to know a little bit more, let me know, and I'll do a more in-depth project here for you guys. But that's it. I hope you like it. If you did, smash that like button. If you didn't, smash the dislike button. But like and subscribe either way. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.